Alright, so let's talk about some special right triangles. Okay, this video is going to focus on the 45, 45, 90. Okay, this is how to solve those if only one side is given. Okay, so if only one side of a triangle is given, then the Pythagorean theorem cannot be used to solve for the other two sides. Alright, and there's two types of special right triangles. We have the 45, 45, 90, which is what we're going to focus on with this video, and the 30, 60, 90 that have simple relationships between their sides. Okay, these can be used to solve for the sides of the triangle when only one side is given. So here is our 45, 45, 90 degree triangle. Okay, so let's just talk about the relationship. Okay, so this has two legs, right? And the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. Okay. Now the relationship that spawns from this is whatever the leg is, so let's call this x, okay? Of course the other side is going to be x because we're dealing with isosceles, but the hypotenuse is going to be whatever the leg is times the square root of 2. Okay, so we're going to call this x square root of 2. Okay, so let's put that the leg times the square root of 2 is equal to the hypotenuse. Okay, now I use a kind of grid formation to keep all my work organized. Okay, so I do a tic-tac-toe board. Okay, so I do 45, 45, 90. Okay, in the 45 columns we put x, x, and then I put the x square root of 2. Okay, so for example, let's say that the leg is 3. Okay, so because this isn't a 45, it's across from the 45, I put that in the first column. Of course, the other 45 is going to be 3 as well. Okay, so for the hypotenuse, that's going to be 3 times the square root of 2. Okay, so let's do a problem. All right, here's so example 1. We are given a leg of 8. Okay, so remember we're doing the leg times the square root of 2 is equal to the hypotenuse. Okay. I'm going to draw my grid. 45, 45, 90, x, x, x square root of 2. Okay, so 8 is across from the 45. So of course, the other leg is going to be 8, and then we're going to have 8 square root of 2. Okay, so one thing I want to make sure that we understand is when we're moving from left to right, okay, we're multiplying. Okay, so from left to right, multiply. Okay, so when you're solving these, it's kind of like you're using what you're given and you're manipulating it using multiplying and dividing. Okay, so let's look at the next problem. Okay, so this one we have 9 square root of 2 as our leg. So I'm going to draw my grid. 45, 45, 90, x, x, x square root of 2. Okay, so this time we have 9 square root of 2. Okay, so our second column is also going to be 9 square root of 2. Okay, and then in the third column, okay, I'm going to bring this down because we have 9 square root of 2 times the square root of 2. Okay, so that's the leg times the square root of 2. Okay, so when you multiply radicals, remember we multiply the outside, so 9 times 1 is 9. Multiply the inside, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so we get 9 times 2, which is 18. Okay. All right, let's do another one. So here we're given another leg, 45, 45, 90, x square root of 2. Okay. This time we have 3 square root of 2 divided by 2. Okay, so automatically that's next column is going to be 3 square root of 2 divided by 2 because it's isosceles. Okay. And then for the last one, remember it's leg times square root of 2. So we're going to have 3 square root of 2 divided by 2 times the square root of 2. Okay, now I'm going to turn that into a fraction. Okay, so when we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerator, multiply the denominator. Okay, so the top will have 3 times 1. Okay, that's that understood 1, which is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. That's our numerator. On the bottom, 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, and then 3 square, square root of 4 is 2 divided by 2. Okay, and that gives us 3. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Or you cancel out your 2's. Alright, so let's try when we're given the hypotenuse. Okay, y'all, same grid formation, 45, 45, 90. It's still x square root of 2. Okay, y'all, this time we are given the hypotenuse, so we have 10 square root of 2. Okay, so when we were going from left to right, we were multiplying. Okay, so if we are going from right to left, we have to divide. Oh goodness, if I could write correctly here. Alright, so let's try this. Okay, so we're going to have 10 square root of 2 divided by square root of 2. Okay, so we have our square roots are going to cancel out and we're left with 10. Okay, so let's try another one. Alright, same grid formation, y'all. So it's x square root of 2. Okay, on this one we're given 10. Okay, so we're going from from left to right this time. So we need to do 10 divided by the square root of 2. Okay, now we cannot have that radical 2 in the denominator, so we need to rationalize it. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 2. So on top we get 10 square root of 2. On the bottom we get square root of 4. Okay, on top we have 10 square root of 2 divided by 2, and then we can simplify that. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 square root of 2. Okay. One more. Okay, so we're given hypotenuse, y'all, same grid, 45, 45, 90, x square root of 2. We are given 3 square root of 5. Okay, so we need to divide. So 3 square root of 5 divided by square root of 2. Okay, we have to multiply by the square root of 2 for top and bottom. Remember, we can't have a radical in the denominator. So on top, we get 3 square root of 10 divided by square root of 4. Okay, we get 3 square root of 10 in the numerator, 2 in the denominator. Y'all, we cannot simplify that any farther. So 3 square root of 10 divided by 2, 3 square root of 10 divided by 2. Okay, so what we found out is when we have the short leg given, okay, the hypotenuse is equal to the short leg times square root of 2. Or excuse me, the leg times square root of 2. Okay, equals the hypotenuse. Okay, so if you're given the hypotenuse, okay, and you wanted to solve for a leg, okay, we would simply do this by doing a simple inverse operation where we would divide by the square root of 2. So here you can see that the leg is equal to the hypotenuse divided by square root of 2. Okay, so I'm going to erase these so we can see that those final two equations. Okay. Remember, never give up, never surrender. You got this.